You know you're ready to start your day when you have your Scooby-Doo socks on. Well, good evening, guys. We're actually going to be walking the garden today. As you can see, Misty usually walks with me, but she had got caught up with the kids, and so she's trying to finish up there. So we're going to do a garden walk, a short video to kind of show you what's jamming in our gardens, what maybe not doing so well, and then show you some new things that we're starting. So let's start today. As we start, again, I can't say enough about doing the pine bark mulch, basically, or the wood chips in the rows. We've had hardly no grass coming up. We have to actually look for it almost. But look at these red zipper peas. Look how gorgeous they are. They are vining beautifully, huge bush, in great shape. You can see they're already starting to put off pods right there. So they're getting ready to pod out. They've already bloomed, so they are absolutely gorgeous. I can't say enough that these are really healthy. I got these from a local person that watches us, who is just who's growing them. I couldn't find them anywhere else, and she gave us some to start. So I'm excited about these. And now, you know, as we talk about peas are kind of a staple for us. We grow a lot of peas, and this is just one variety that we're trying this year. We've never tried them, and we're really excited about them. Right next to them, we have the pink eye purple hull. We've got 3 rows of these. You can see they're putting off pods, and they've already bloomed. Look at all these. Look at all this right here. I mean, just gorgeous peas. They're always been kind of short. They're not really tall, but that's okay because they're still jamming. And what's so great is this is what we call our first peas. So we will actually start another set of peas in this area right in front of the corn. You know, we have silage tarps where we plant pumpkins this year, and when we plant our fall, we'll actually plant some fall peas too. So we've got 3 rows of the fall peas. They're doing great. You can see, you know, the pea shoots that are just doing really good. Everything's coming. Hopefully all this stuff will start putting off and actually getting a harvest on the peas. I'm hoping within about a week and a half. Next to the pink eye purple hull, of course you see the butter beans, the lima beans. Lima beans we love. Now we grew a crap load 2 years ago. So last year we still had so many in the freezer, we didn't want to pick anymore because they're hard to pick. If you've never picked Henderson bush beans, it's always fun. Put them in your garden and you'll have a fun time. You'll know the thought of sunburn leaned over on a bucket, how much fun it could really be. So we had about 10 5-gallon buckets 2 years ago, so about 50 gallons of Henderson bush. We did not need any last year, but we actually just ran out. So you see these are 3 rows. They are doing great. Look at these pods. I mean, look at that. Just gorgeous pods all through out there. I mean, and they're already starting to fill out. It's actually surprised me. They actually are a little bit quicker than what I thought so far. So I'm not complaining at all about these 3 rows. 1 row was struggling a little bit, but now it's starting to really jam. So I'm very pleased with those. Next to that, now let's talk about these 8 rows here of peas and beans are doing awesome. Now let's talk about the 3 that struggle. And they're coming along. We're actually going to get some edamame and some soybeans, but let's look at these rows right quick, which is the next 3 rows. You see they're very sporadic. But you see they're still, the ones that they are actually blooming and the ones that are actually putting off soybeans are doing phenomenally well. Not enough to justify putting them up in the freezer for months at a time, but it will feed us a few times. So let's look at this plant right here. You see, I mean, it's putting off some beautiful soybeans all under there. So I'm happy with it. It's just not enough. So the plants that are putting off are putting out a tremendous amount of soybeans. Very pleased with them. But again, it's just taking so long for them to come up. And you can see there's some baby ones all right here. I mean, they're coming up, they're just baby. So I'm hoping that they have a long season to grow. I mean, they really could grow all the way until fall. So I'm hoping that they'll really start taking off. We fed them with some fish emulsion, some liquid kelp the other day. So I think they're gonna come back around. But the ones that are putting off, I mean, look at that. I mean, they're putting off really nice. So I'm hoping that the other ones will catch up so we can have a great harvest. To our squash kinis and some squash all planted here. The squash has done okay. They've yellowed a little bit more, so we've had to really feed them some nitrogen. We've got a good bit of squash, but our zucchini is doing phenomenal. Very, very pleased with our zucchini. Look how pretty these rows are too. Just, you see, there's just not any grass growing through those rows. And that's just because we're having a great year with doing this organic no-till gardening. If you have more questions about it, you can go back and look at some other videos or comment, and also kind of put down below, what kind of garden are you doing? Are you tilling it? Are you no-tilling it? Are you lasagna method? Are you, are you deep bedding it? I mean, what are you doing? So tell me in the comments what gardening system you do, and we'll talk about it on the live. Our okra is coming up. Very pleased with it so far. It's a little slow grow, but this is the first year we've tried to grow this. This is actually from Pulse Tools. We've never grown this variety. We had a lot of damage at first on the first planting, which was our seeds. And I think just some rabbit or something ate it. But now we've got this planted, and look at this. We actually started these from seeds. If you remember, most of the time I never start starters. But I did this year because our okra could not come up. Something kept eating it. So we started seed starts in the greenhouse, and man, look at this. A whole row, 2 rows of okra right there. Now you see we double plant, so that's why we're tighter. But look at these other 2 rows here of Mississippi pink eye. This is another variety of pink eye purple hull like we have. Like I said, we love peas. I do a lot. So it's nothing like fresh peas, a cucumber, and some tomato all put together with a slab of cornbread. It don't get any better than that. So that's why we're growing all these peas, because we love them. We have the rows for them, and they're jamming. Now to the 176 tomatoes we have planted here. They're growing. Look at the height. We've got some at about 5 foot so far. We've got some at 3 foot, some at about 4 foot. And this is just some of our tomatoes. But they are really starting to do well. They're starting to put off some great quality green tomatoes. Very circular, very healthy. And really, we've seen like 2 or 3 damages from hornworms. We really hadn't seen an influx of it yet. And I'm hoping we don't. We haven't seen a lot of caterpillars. Look how beautiful these are right here. Look at that. They're just gorgeous tomatoes. These are all either Better Boys. We have a few Pink Ladies, a few Brandywines. But our majority is Beefsteak and Cherokee Purple, because that's my 2 favorite. And I'm the tomato eater of our family. So you can see the height. The height is absolutely gorgeous. Great quality tomatoes. You see the blooms are coming out beautiful right here. This one's about my height, about 5.5. This is that one that we had a little damage from a hornworm right there. We actually took it off, but it's still doing great on the back side of it. We did do single stem, so when it hurts the main stem, it hurts the whole thing. So, but it's really come back. Look how good it's looked. Some more tomatoes down there. But very pleased at how these tomatoes are doing. I'm hoping we have trees. We actually raised our cattle panels up this year. We were at about 5.5 foot. Now we're about 6.5 foot. So that way it gives room for those tomatoes, because last year we had them over and going back down because they were doing really good. So you see these rows are doing excellent. Very pleased with the tomatoes. And I mean, I can't say enough. They really have done really well this year. This has probably been the strongest our garden's been on the front end. And again, I can't say enough about how we're gardening this year. If you don't know how we're gardening, ask us. We'll tell you, because we believe in what we're doing this year with the silage tarps, the flamethrowers, the deep bed mulch, the Paul Gauchi system back to Eden. I was so against it, and it's amazing how good it's done the last 2 years for us. And then look at these cucumbers. Look at that. It's crazy. Look at them growing. They're almost up 5 foot on the cattle panel. I mean, look at that. And we've gotten so, I know everybody gets cucumbers. I'm not saying that our cucumbers are growing way more than yours, because cucumbers grow everywhere. But look at all the cucumbers just hanging down. If you're not doing trellising cucumbers, especially leaning trellising cucumbers, man, you need to try, because it's awesome. Because basically you can come underneath, pick them. You'll have some on the other side, no big deal. But when you run them up, to me it seems like it puts stress on the vining, and it can't vine as well. When you put them like this, there's no stress, and they just grow up. Look at all those yellow blooms right there. Boom. Doing phenomenal here in the cucumbers. Okay, on to the last part of our big garden, and then we're gonna show you some of the raised beds. We'll kind of end this video, but you see, this is where we'll plant pumpkins. We'll plant our fall peas. We may even try another round of corn just to try. I mean, what's the heck? Might as well. Look at the volunteer sunflowers. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We've been very pleased with that too. We didn't plant them over here this year just because we needed more space for food, and those decided to say, hey, we're coming up anyway. Look at the corn, it's jamming. We have not picked it yet. We should be getting ready to pick very soon. You see the tops of them, some of the silk is turning brown, which is when you kind of want to get ready to pick. So we'll let it die a little bit more, and basically we'll start the process of pulling corn, and I'm hoping for a good corn harvest this year. So far it's looking good. It's a little smaller eared than I was hoping. It's our first year growing this variety, the Silver Queen, so we're gonna see how it does and see if we can get a good harvest off of it. I mean, some of these pieces are 7 foot tall, some are, you know, lower than that, some are 4 and 5. So I'm hoping that we can put it all together, get some nice corn for the season. Lastly, in the big garden, look at these sweet potatoes. Every one of them are coming up. Every one of them are doing great. Every one of them have made bigger roots and bigger heads and bigger greens. So I cannot wait for these to vine. I've already coated these once with some fish emulsion. We'll probably do it one more time, but they are doing phenomenal. I'm hoping that they'll keep on doing well, so that way we will, you know, kind of see a fruition of some good sweet potatoes like we did our baked potatoes. All right, let's walk through the orchard, see the apples are I've already ate one apple off the tree. Don't tell Miss Match. It was good. Okay, so we've got the peaches are doing good. Hello chickens, hello ducks. Look at this is what we call the compost tomatoes. They are actually doing well. This was a bed we made off the pigs, and they're actually starting to really grow. Now these will be kind of progressionary tomatoes. They will be about 30 or 40 days after the ones in the garden. So very, very pleased with that. We do a lot of progressionary growing, especially when it comes to tomatoes, lettuces, things like that. Strawberries they're looking good and they're growing. We've been taking blooms off just so they can overperform for the next 2 years. But look at this. We missed one and we got a beautiful strawberry. Let's give it a taste. You will never get the tenderness of a strawberry you grow from the store. So we'll hit the raised beds again. You're seeing some tomatoes. Lettuce is starting to bolt and kind of play out, which is very hot, and that's why. Onions are getting close to being harvested as well. These tomatoes are jamming. Again, we will do these tomato steaks too. These will be probably 40 to 50 days after the ones in the garden. And you can see the lettuce is starting to bolt, which is good. That shows that we are going to collect some seed from these wonderful, wonderful Hoss Tools and Baker Creek and some of our lettuce that we have. I mean, this year our lettuce was awesome. Lastly, we'll look at the peppers. Peppers are really starting to grow. We're starting to see some blooms. We got to collect the seeds off the old broccoli. Look at this sunflower, mammoth sunflower. And then, of course, the other tomatoes just doing really well, really well. Our biggest onions that we have, and they'll come out of the ground probably next week. You see the tops are already starting to die, so they're getting ready to come. We'll actually pull them out and get a harvest ready for those onions. So we're excited about that too. And of course, asparagus. And lastly, the last of the tomatoes. This was some more tomatoes. As if we needed more, we have more. And they're doing good. We got a cattle panel on these and a few sticks at the end. And you know, we're just continue growing. So as we end this video, I want you to show me your gardens on our Facebook page. I want you to tell me about your gardens in these comments with YouTube. And it just let us know how everything's going in your garden. We're excited. We always want to hear from you. Like our loofahs are starting to grow. We're excited because we've never grown those. So it's always fun trying new things. So tell me below what you're growing, how it's doing for you, and what's doing good and what's doing bad. And let's just talk about it. That'll be the next topic on the next live. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Happy homesteading, y'all.